We'll start at 9:05, okay?
Good morning, sir.
Okay, another few seconds. 5 already. Okay, I hope uh, many people have joined. Still, few are left out.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
So today's class is mostly a abstract class, you can say. I'll not cover more things, but the whole OS is going to be covered today. So let's see how we can progress. And before start this class, I'll just give a few requirements that since this is the book, whatever is provided to you is mostly a theoretical, but this course is mostly a programmatic. The whole course, if you can think, it is a programmatical course. And I'll try myself that how each statement, whatever I'm saying here, I could able to show you through some programs, or I'll just make you feel that this kind of things are actually written inside a program, because all things I cannot cover during this course because it is a 3-credit course, and with 3-credit course and covering with theory as well as program is not possible. But I'll try myself that whatever code you have already written in C or any other languages, and when you are running this particular code inside a computer, how you can feel the importance of this operating system while running the programs. That feeling has to become, then only it will be this course is successful. Otherwise, for getting marks, you may get good marks, because if you attend some theoretical question or few numerical questions, obviously you'll get good grades. But that is not the ultimate aim, where you cannot achieve the whole goal properly. The whole goal will be achieved if you are capable to understand the every statement or the every topic covered in this course. You can relate to with either a program or with respect to a system, because this operating system is not at all an application thing, rather it is a system thing. And when you think about a system, system means our computer system. Since computer system is a hardware, the hardware cannot blindly run. We know everybody will know that this cannot be run blindly. So we need a software, and that software will be believed like our operating system. So that's why your focus should be more on theoretical during the class, but you have to raise yourself in your mind that whether it is really implemented in the computer or Sari is just telling it is a theory. If this question comes to your mind, then only you can learn this subject properly. Otherwise, it is, I told repeatedly, it is completely looks like a theoretical course. Okay, so that's my goal. My goal is that I want to make you believe that this is not a theoretical course, rather it is a practical course. That's my main goal. So before starting this course, I'll just share a few things so that you can know these things. So because we have to know the procedure of examination and other things. Hopefully many people were there, few people were there in my previous data structure class. Very less here they have joined. But those who are there, they knows that what to do. But those who are not present, few of them are also present in my C classes. So if you can relate those classes, you can feel like this. So it is what you have to do it. Hopefully I have shared this link with all of you, where you can find this course in the Moodle. Everything you can get in the Moodle. The whole 3 months or 4 months course, the detail you can find it here. Are you able to see this screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I segregated into this. The course document is something is present in the course document, that is OS day-wise course. Time to time I may update this one, but currently you can find something here present, that is what are the things to be covered. I may miss something, I may add some new things. It is not exactly fixed, but as for the syllabus is concerned, I will cover the whole syllabus. Don't worry about that one. And the next part is the class and the recording links. And your class timing is here, it is written, that is Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. If possible, sometimes I may request, very rarely, to 1 day or 2 day in the whole semester, that I will change the class timing for that week in some cases. I hope you will be cooperate with me. And here you can find this link. Already you have find the link. And every day after the class, once I'll get a time, I'll update this your class recording. You can find it here. And this is one. And another one, whatever I'll write, because the whole thing I'll write, there is no PPT for this course. I'm not using any PPT for this course. So the class sheets you can find in this Google Drive. Here you can find the class links. Okay. So this is about this. And regarding the examination point of view, OS book, I'll have you received the OS book or not?
Yes, sir. From mail by Central Library.
Okay.
Electronic version.
If you have not received, I'll make a, but this is not official. Don't take it as official one, because the OS book is provided by some publisher. So I'm just activating this one. Hopefully you can see your OS book here. Huh? those who have not received, you can find this OS book in this particular link. And regarding the exams, I'll conduct 2 quizzes or 3 quizzes max. And out of the 3 quizzes, I'll take best 2 quizzes. If I'll conduct 2 quizzes, then directly 2 quizzes will be the best 2. There is no best 2 there. Directly, I'll take the 2 quizzes. And that carries almost 20 marks. And another 10 marks is the assignment, or sometimes I'll ask the questions during the class. That carries 10 marks. But regarding the assignment, I thought about 2 things this time. So I'll give a normal assignment with respect to your course. And I also give you some assignment related to some XB6 operating system. Okay, this is a very small operating system, which is a Unix flavor. Okay, this is the Unix flavor operating system. And I'll tell you whatever I'll teach, I try to make you to be implemented in this XB6, so that you can feel that you are also designing the operating system in some way. That is my aim. But it again depends upon how good you are in coding, because if you are not good in coding, it is really difficult at this stage. So depending upon your progress in this, I'll give you more assignment on this XB6. And if it is very simple assignment, I'll prefer to give some marks. If it is really difficult assignment, this is for your interest, you have to do it or you don't have to do it. But since you are a good student, I hope you will try this one rather than the normal assignment just to get the marks. Okay, so for this XB6 operating system, purely it is written in the C programming language. I hope everybody has gone through the C properly. So you have to comfortable with the malloc, calloc, different control statement, all these things. And through this C programming language, we'll do these things. I'll share the link for this XB6, a dummy XB6, where many things may not be present. And time to time, when you read some scheduling algorithm or system calls when you study, so I'll tell you how you can implement those things inside this programming language. Then in your mind, it is raised that why you are not telling the same thing in this operating system what we have. If you have only Windows operating system, I'm not going through this Windows operating system. Completely, the whole course is based on the Linux operating system. I hope those who don't have a Linux, you can install this Linux operating system so that you can do these things properly. Okay. Even if you have not done, you just install it through VirtualBox and make it ready, because the lab course, which I'm not taking, I think some other teacher is taking, and they will tell you the operating system lab course is completely based on the Unix or the Linux flavor. So that's why it is a request from my side, within 1 or 2 days, you plan out to install this Ubuntu, or Ubuntu is more flexible. Many people are using Red Hat, Fedora, or Kali Linux, many are there. If you have also the Mac OS, no need to install these things. The Mac OS is also, you can find a little flavor of this Linux operating system. So that's why the Linux operating system is necessary for this particular course. Okay, and that is the assignment is 10 marks, 20 marks is this, and the rest of the things, quiz will be a little tough, because sometimes it will be a theoretical, sometimes it is a problematic. The problematic theory quiz may be easier to answer, but theoretical quiz is very difficult to answer. Multiple choice also. You may feel this is correct, but that is not correct, something else is correct. Even if it is a multiple choice, the quizzes are completely multiple choice. If you can, if I'll share with the last quiz test, if you can find, that is less only. So that's why I'm saying it may be average is 5 or 5.5, the quizzes. So 5 and 5.5 means it is less. Your expectation may be 9 or 10, but if you not study or attend the class properly, it is very difficult to do it. And many things I'll not write also. Most of the things I'll tell, and you have to capture these things, or you have to see, go through this video and look into that what I have told, because all the things I cannot write and cover up within this 3-credit course. So many things I'll write, most of the important things I'll write, but many things I'll say you have to please concentrate properly to get these things in a proper manner. Okay, so this is my overall view. If you have any question, you can ask, then I'll immediately start the class.
Hello, sir.
Yes, please.
Sir, in the XP6 that you have told that operating system,
Mhm.
sir, there we will do in kernel way programming.
The kernel
Like,
web. Yes,
okay, sir.
you have to do, because application programming you are doing now, then why you will go for XP6 to do the application program? So we'll completely do, as I told, last semester people have implemented the scheduling, system calls, and many more. This time, if you can progress little farther up to memory management, then I'll be very happy, because process management they have done, and process synchronization you can directly do in the lab. For that, you don't have to do it here. Rather, we have to go for scheduling algorithms, system calls, and if this time some memory management or file management you can do it, I'll be really very happy. Okay, but it may be a collective effort. Don't be partial or selfish. 2-3 people will be together, or stay together means connect together and do this particular assignment. Don't do it alone. You may feel bored if it is not happening within 1 or 2 days. So that's why if 2-3 people who combine together, or 5 people combine together and do the assignment, it will be quite good. Okay, there is no need to copy from this. As I told, if it is a simple assignment, I'll tell that I'll give a mark for this assignment. If it is little difficult, only for your learning purpose, I'll give you the assignment. Okay, not for that. But I hope you take it as a marking purpose. I am giving the assignment, and do it so that you can get a test of that. Yes, anybody else?
Excuse me,
Last.
sir.
Yes, please.
Yes, sir. Sir, in lab we will come to use like how to use Ubuntu, or we have to learn by ourselves, sir.
They will tell you in the first 2 classes all the commands related to the Linux operating system. All these things they will tell you in this particular GUI mode how to write all the commands. Then they will go for programming for operating system. Okay, they will give you flavor, but they will not tell you. I hope you are in 4th semester, you are find out in your net that how to install this Ubuntu or something. Don't expect that your teacher will tell you how to install that one. At
Yes,
least
installing part we can do, sir. Like using part is tough, sir.
yes. Yes.
Hello,
Anybody
sir.
last?
It is pre-installed in our computer.
It is. If it is, very nice. Very nice. Yes. I hope as
Hello,
a computer science student, you have to more comfortable in the Linux platform rather than the Windows. This is not biased one, because almost all university, if you can go, people will prefer this Linux flavor rather than this Windows flavor. Okay.
Hello, sir.
Yes, please.
Sir, sir, why we are using this Unix in place of Linux kernel?
Oh, the Linux kernel has a design on the top of the Unix kernel. Are you getting my point? The
Yes,
basic flavor is Unix. The Unix was initially a character base. Character base means only this type of things will come. There is no screen, nothing like DOS, no? DOS, MS DOS
Yes,
kind
sir.
of things. This kind of come. All this command and everything you have to write it here. But when the Linux has developed, the Linux basically gives a graphical flavor. But the core operating system they have taken from the Unix only. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. So this much from my side. I hope there will be a few. If there is any question, gradually will be progress. And a few more things from my side. Excuse that my handwriting is very bad. So after 1 or 2 classes, those who have not attended my classes, you will cope up with my handwriting. Otherwise, I cannot able to change it currently at this age. That is the thing. And one more thing I'll tell you that the attendance I'll directly take from the Moodle. The Moodle, based on the Moodle timing, I'll take the attendance. And I'll fix a timing if a student has attended this many up to a certain time, then only I can put the attendance. But I'll not look into it whether you are present or not present. Sometimes I'll make a surprise one. So that day I may put 2 class absent if you are really cheating. Yes, you are your name is showing, but you are not present. So obviously I'll take directly 2-3 classes. All these things are recorded. So don't later say that why you are deducted. I'll not listen anything. I'll directly remove these things. And this attendance is also necessary. Why I'm saying, when I'll prepare the mark for either quiz or assignment, if the quiz mark is very less, suppose the whole course, then I have to increase it. So while increasing, that is related to your attendance. It is not related to directly. If X is increased by 2%, the Y has to be also increased by 2%. It is not like that. It is depending upon this. Because as I saw in my previous classes, sometimes you may not perform the quiz properly or assignment properly, where the whole class gets the less mark. So I cannot give the whole such a less mark there. So if I'll increase it, the increasing has to be based completely on the attendance. And I'll not look into it whether you are present in every class or not. I'm boldly saying, but I'll make sometimes surprise one. If that surprise visit you are not present, I may deduct directly 2-3 classes attendance should be absent, even if you are not present there. Okay, but if you are not present there, it's okay. But if you are present, your timing is showing there, but you are not present, means you are bluffing. Okay, that you have to maintain. I cannot help you in that regard. But don't think that I'll make a police and thief kind of things every day. I'll ask you that whether you are present or not, you have to that time present and make it yes. I will not do these things for this class, since it is only 3 hours per week. It is very difficult to manage the whole course with using these 3 hours. And if I take attendance for 5 or 10 minutes, really it is difficult. Okay, so that's my point. So we'll start with our course called as operating system. Yes. So what a operating system is, how you can believe a operating system is this one. I always prefer a small example with respect to operating system. That let's take there is a Pizza Hut, and you want to go and take one pizza. So think that this is our Pizza Hut. Yes, and this is your kitchen, and inside the kitchen all items are present, different kinds of item, and there is also a gas stove is there through which you can make this pizza. Suppose you are a student and you want to get a pizza, then what is the main preference? You can say, sir, I'll directly go inside, prepare my pizza and eat and come back. This is very simple thing. Now you can say somebody may go and instead of putting a oil first, you will put the water first. Then your pizza is not tasty. Then somebody will say that, no, sir, I know how to prepare this pizza. I'll go inside, first burn the this gas stove, then put some oil, put some ghee, put some ingredients, different ingredients in a proper sequence and prepare it and do it. Then what's wrong in that? It's okay for one. Let's take, by seeing this, it is free of cost. Then next time, in next day, 2 more people are entering into the same thing. And what happens? Then If you are good friends, he may cooperate with you that you prepare it, eat it, then I will prepare and eat it. If you are not good friends, then both of them are enter at the same time. The moment you prepare these things, the same moment he will also demand that I want to prepare it. Then the problem comes into picture. So you cannot handle it properly, because either he will prepare or you will be prepared. There is always fighting in between this. Then nobody will be able to prepare these things. Then the whole resources present freely at this moment is not utilized properly. So that's why what you need, we need some kind of a management kind of things. If somebody will be able to manage it, then it is very easy to prepare it. The next day, what will happen? What this shopkeeper will do, he has put a person that a manager, he has kept it. This manager will be take a responsibility to collect your request. That you are coming here, he is also coming here. Then he will say that, no, you please tell me what kind of pizza you need. Then once you collect this pizza, once you collect this particular request, then he tells to somebody, or he himself enter into to this kitchen to prepare this pizza. Then what you need? You need some kind of a manager which will reduce the complexity of the whole system. Because previously you are only one people. Now you have 3 people. Then maybe 10 people wants to enter into this. So while it is a 10 people, it is very difficult to manage by each individual one inside the same kitchen. Then what is this kitchen here? The kitchen is nothing but my hardware. And what you have to do? With the help of the hardware, I want to prepare this pizza. Then who is this manager? This manager is actually a software. And what is the manager's work? Take the request from the different user, that is a user 1, this is a user 2, receive this request. Then after he is receiving this request, try to execute in this hardware. And once he is preparing this product with the help of this hardware, then we will return back this result to each individual one. Then what you need? This particular software is now acted as an interface between these 2 things. So one is my user, that may be a single user, that may be a multiple user. Now you can say, sir, why you are saying about a single user? For a single user, is this manager is necessary? Sometimes it is necessary. What's the reason? Think that if your Pizza Hut kitchen is just too complex means you cannot know where your switch for this stove is there, where the switch for this AC is there, how to reduce the AC inside the kitchen, or how to reduce the exhausted fan inside the kitchen. All these things very complicatedly there inside the kitchen. So even if you are a single user, you could not able to prepare this pizza inside this kitchen. So you need somebody's help who already knows how complex it is, and with this complexity, how he can able to prepare this pizza. Then you can say that for single user also it is necessary. Then what this manager's work? This manager's work is to take an intermediate between this and this one. Then who is the user? Now the question comes that who is the user as per this? The user may be a person, or the user may be another hardware also. Why it is another hardware? Sometimes if there is a computer present somewhere in the US or in some countries, there is another computer present here, whose work is to every time send a request to this computer and receive the result from this computer. Why he is sending to this computer? Because this computer is very low quality computer. He cannot able to compute this hard works. But this computer is capable to manage the difficult works. Means at that moment, even if this user becomes a hardware like a computer, he is acted like a user, give a request, and this complex hardware, which is another computer, can able to do it and do these things. So your user is not only a normal person, rather it may be another hardware to do these things. Now the next question comes, then what this manager is, whether this manager is a hardware or it is a software. This manager is basically a software. What is the reason behind this? If it himself is a hardware, this hardware cannot manage with another hardware. Because to manage this hardware, I need one more thing, it is a software. Because the hardware is always a dump. Why it is a dump? If you think I have purchased one bike, but I don't know how to start it, or there is no wire connected to start it, means it is just a piece of iron, you can say that, nothing more. Or it is a collection of iron and a fixer with some nut bolts. In the same manner, if you just purchase with a CPU, purchase a memory, purchase a hard disk, purchase a, even if it is a central processing unit, a monitor, all these things, it cannot work out properly unless until somebody has to be tell that how to work with this particular hardware. So that's why it must be a software. Then this software is basically called as an OS. And what is the responsibility of the OS? The OS is acted as an interface between this user and hardware. That's why the first definition comes, the operating system is a program or set of programs, or you can say a set of programs which acts as an interface between the user and hardware. This is one part of the definition. Now, another interesting part. Can you think of a system where there is no requirement of the operating system? Without a manager, that system can be worked out. As I already told, if you have only one simple Pizza Hut and there is only one person living near to him and nobody is, let's take it is an island. Inside the island, there is a Pizza Hut and only one person is living inside this island. Then for that manner, this kind of a manager is not at all necessary, because this itself is simple and he knows how to act with this hardware. That's why no requirement of this operating system. Then when the operating system again comes into picture, the operating system again necessary when there is a complexity, means this is the OS is necessary to reduce the complexity. Yes, I'll give you one more example. You know that when you purchase a hardware, whatever the cost will be, purchase hardware with the operating system, the cost will be little more. Everybody knows this. So it's a common feature. Now my question little bit change. When you go by bus in your state or here also this, in a bus at the back side, the names will be displayed in a very stylish manner. In one name will be like zigzag, one name will be red color, one time it will be go in a forward direction, one time it is go in a backward direction. Do you think that a hardware will be directly work like this? Yes or no?
No, sir.
No.
Some
Means
controller required.
some controller is there, and inside the controller something must be given to, some instruction or indication must be given to him. What? Now you move forward, means first you display A, then B, then C. Sometimes you will just say that no, first you display C, then A, then B. Means there is some kind of a instruction or the programs has to be given there which will able to display it. Now if you can think that that display is becomes on hardware, then there is some software will be directly work out to display the whole thing in a different manner. But in that scenario, do you think is there any extra operating system needed, or your software itself includes some controls which can control this hardware? What do you think? Are you getting my point? Yes.
The software consists of the controls.
Yes.
No
Means that software must consist of a control which can able to do it. So in that scenario, I don't require a operating system even if I have a hardware. So how I can manage? I can manage with the person or the user which is become a program, and that program gives some control to handle this hardware, and there is no need of these things. So that's the reason your OS will be satisfied with the two basic definition. One is it acted as an intermediate between this user and hardware, and another one, to reduce the complexity, this OS plays a very important role. Even if you have one user, even if you have multi-user, but your hardware is so complex that you cannot handle this hardware with a multiple person at the same time. So that's the reason I need a manager called as OS to handle these things. Okay. So this is called as the OS. Now go a little bit deeper. Now what is this user? I told that the user is a hardware, or user sometimes become a software also. But most of the times the user becomes a software. And user, sometimes you feel that it is a human being. Means if you can say, this is I am a user as a human being, and this is my hardware, then how this user can communicate with this if my OS is already present here? So this is the user, this is the OS, and this is the hardware. Means there must be some connection between this user to hardware. If it is a normal person, means myself or yourself, can you able to directly access this OS? Tell me, please.
No, sir.
What you are doing? What you are doing in the computer?
We
In
give
your-
certain inputs.
Sir, we need
Yes,
some hardware.
Very nice. Means some desktop is coming to your in front of you, and that desktop, through desktop, some icons will be there. By clicking on this icon or dragging this icon, you are doing your work on the top of the computer or not? Yes. Means now you can say, sir, this is something a software. And what is this software? This software is indirectly, you can say some programming interface. Some programming interface. What is this programming interface then? The programming interface means he will provide a screen kind of things where some buttons, some text box, some radio button, something will be there. Some submit button will be there, so that I can put some data, put some data, click on this button. Then another person comes, put some data here, don't put data here, put some data here, click it here. Means this is my programming interface. Interface means there is a programming interface will be seen to me, through which I can able to do some work with the help of the hardware. Because ultimately my work is done at the hardware, but somebody has given me this programming interface to do it. Then who is providing this programming interface? Anybody? I am going once. Yes? Not?
OS.
No. OS does not know. Do you think that OS can capable to design this kind of page?
So then, like
Developer?
some GUI that renders that.
No. Very, very simple I am saying.
unit.
No, control, not control. I am just saying you have a hardware. Listen, you know these things. That's why I want to extract from you. I have one hardware. I have a OS already installed. Now, sometimes you want, if my application will be like this, I will nicely do these things. Let's check. If you have a computer, can you able to play music just by purchasing OS and computer?
No, sir. You
No,
have to
sir.
install
No, sir.
that
Then
software.
what you need? You tell us,
Software.
Music player.
yes, I need a VLC player. I need a MP3 player. You are saying you're not. So this VLC player is this one. But this VLC player will be give you a screen, just a screen, where you can select a song and play this here button, then it will become play. Now you tell me, this kind of a screen will be provided by the operating system or somebody else?
Somebody else.
That. Who is that?
The app.
Third party software.
That you are a programming language.
Software provider.
Is it correct? Because this software must be written with the help of some programming language or not.
Yes, sir.
Yes, means I need a programming language, and with the help of the programming language, I can prepare this kind of software, and through this software, this user can access this software and able to connect with this OS. OS will be connected with the hardware and able to execute it. Now, this programming language plays an important role. But when I'm saying about the programming language, what the programming language gives, like a C. When first time you are learning C, what kind of things the C gives so that I can design this kind of thing? What a programming language gives so that I can designing this kind of things? Some functions or not. Correct or not?
Yes,
He is
sir.
giving a printf function, he is bringing a scanf function, malloc function, string function, many functions are providing. Means what basically they are providing? They are providing some APIs. That is called as application program interface. What my point? Program and interface. Along with this, he's also keep some system programs. What is the system programs? These system programs are nothing but basically your compiler, compiler or interpreter like this. And what is the work of this API and what is the work of this compiler? Now I'll tell you. Even if your compiler is providing a printf function, can you able to run this printf function inside the hardware?
No, sir.
What you need then? You want to make a GCC which will create an executable file. Then that executable file is able to run by this hardware. So who is making the conversion from this API? This API are what? I told it is a printf. Think this is a printf and scanf. Then what is this system level programs? System programming. This system programming is my compiler like a GCC. This GCC's work is to take these APIs, convert it to some machine language, then that machine language will be understood by this hardware. Then what is plays a role? Your user is interacting with this APIs through this programming interface, and this API will be not directly run always, rather it is also take the support of the system programs, and with the help of the APIs and the system programs, they are communicating with this OS, and the OS then communicating the hardware, then the hardware can able to run your program or not. Are you agree with this? Then what is the idea I told? Let's take, I want to add two numbers. I'll give a simple example. I want to add two numbers. Then what I'll do? I'll create a screen by a programming language. Let's take, I can able to create a screen by C language. Then here A will be colon display. B will be colon display. Then there is a line. Then here it is written total. The moment you press 5 here, the moment you press 6 here, then here comes 11. So this particular screen is my programming interface. Yes, this programming interface is accessed by a user. This is my user. And this programming interface is actually designed by whom? With the help of some APIs or by some system programs. And these system programs are able to connect with this OS, and this OS is able to connect with the hardware, then my whole work is doing it or not. Yes, now we'll see a small program, then how this API is what, and how this API can communicate with this. This part will be little easier. Why it is easier? Because we have already gone through this. I can write a program. My program will be look like this. I can able to put some data and get this result. So this part always we are more acquainted. But how this part is going to work out here? Which part? This lower part. The moment you type something 5 and 6, this 5 and 6 has to be calculated, that is 11, and that 11 has to be also displayed. Then two things will be performed here. The 5 and 6 has to be added. The addition has to be done by the hardware. The addition cannot be done by the software. The software only takes, he can write A plus B, but actual A plus B will be done by whom? There is a CPU. Inside the CPU, there may be some add kind of instruction. If you give 5 and 6, he can able to do this and do it. Means the addition is actually done by him. Once this addition will be done and get a 11, that is also not sufficient. That 11 has to be displayed it here, and the display part has to be worked by some printf, and that printf will be not normally work. That printf has to also take the help of the hardware, because the CPU has to be tell that to the monitor that in this particular location you please display 1, in next location you have to display another 1. Means the whole calculation and display has to be done by this hardware. Now, once your API receive these 2 requests, then how the calculation is going to take place? This calculation cannot be directly takes place in the hardware by the API. Why the API cannot do it? Because API does not know how to interact with the hardware. Why this particular fellow doesn't know why it is like this? Because we have given an example. I have directly given an example. Sir, a user can directly interact with the hardware. Then what's the problem of you are saying he cannot directly do it? The reason is that, suppose this particular Pizza Hut is capable to prepare a lot of pizza. Yes, he can prepare a different kind of pizza. But a person, when you go to the Pizza Hut, do you know what kind of pizzas this Pizza Hut is available? That you don't know. Then how we can know? You just know that, hey, give me a pizza. But there are very nice pizza which is less price, which you don't know. Then what this manager has to be tell you, so that the person, the user, can able to get a different kind of a pizza flavor from this Pizza Hut. Then what you prepare? He is preparing a menu kind of things. If inside the menu it is written, it is a X pizza 20 rupees, Y pizza 30 rupees, Z pizza 10 rupees, P pizza 15 rupees. Then by looking into this menu and looking into the ingredients, this particular person can able to demand. And this menu is nothing but what? Programming interface. Yes. And this menu is prepared based on the cook, what kind of a thing he is going to be prepared. So this particular menu cannot be directly interact with this. He has to be interact with this operating system. Now you can say, sir, this menu is itself is a software, and this operating system is a software. Then why don't you combine these 2 things and make it a 1? If it is make it a 1, then there is a one more problem comes into picture. The problem is the security. The security is what? If you are writing the program and you are saying that your program is combined with this operating system, means you also knows this operating system. If you know this operating system and if you know this particular program, then you may write some program here which will be combine the OS to violate the rules and regulation of this Pizza Hut. That's what they did. Even if this becomes a program, up to this it is a program, and this is also a program, but this program is now divided into 2 different types. One is called as the user mode, and one is called as the kernel mode. The kernel mode, the programs are running, but these programs are not directly accessible to this particular thing. But user mode programs are directly accessible to this. Like the API is using what? If you know, the API is a printf. But do you think that this printf will be directly known to the operating system? Not at all. What is the reason? The reason is that, let's assume, let's take one more example. Let's assume you are now using a C programming language and prepare this interface. Somebody is using a Java programming language and prepare this interface. Do you think that your programming operating system knows the printf and a system.out.println? Because in Java, to print something, this is system.out.println. In C, to print something, that is a printf. And whenever somebody has written this program with the help of the C API, then he has used this printf to write it. When somebody has written a Java program to make it this kind of screen, he has used this system.out.println. But do you think that your operating system is capable to know all kind of a function, whatever the programming language supported? May not be, and it should not. Why it should not? My operating system has a design 10 years before. Now a new programming language has developed. Whether my operating system has to be dependent upon the programming language, or the programming language has to be dependent upon the operating system. The programming language has to be dependent upon the operating system. Why? Because he knows that this operating system knows how to print something in the hardware. He has already know these things with some way. Then what is the rule of this programming language? The programming language gives a printf to do this, and this programming language gives a system.out.println to do this. But these two things should not be known to OS, but these two things should know a common thing if there is a function called as a write. If write is a function provided by my operating system, the moment you write printf, inside the printf, if the write is called, inside the system.out.println, if the write is called, then your job is done or not. Then what you do? Every API cannot directly understood by your hardware. The API is depend upon the programming language, and the programming language has decided its API with respect to whom first? With respect to the user. You know that previous languages are very boring. Sometimes people are saying in the C programming language, sir, Python bahut acha hai. Python is a very nice language. But C thoda acha nahi hai. More functionalities are not present. Means the Python has designed this programming language with respect to whom? To the user. User wants very easy approach to write down his program. That's why he has written a lot of APIs. For the addition of two numbers, he has made one API. For deletion, for square root, for every requirement, the Python has one functionality. But in case of C, you may not find all this functionality. Means your programming language provided this API for designing this programming interface more flexibly. But he never thought about what it should be, how my hardware can able to run it. This hardware is running with the help of the operating system. Means if operating system knows there is a write, means every programming language's print function should indirectly call this write function by which it can be done. Agreed or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Then
Yes,
what is this write and what is this printf? Please remember, this printf is called as an API, whereas this write is called as a system call. Means the system call is basically the functions present inside the operating system to interact with these APIs. Or indirectly you can say, when this API wants to interact with the OS, he wants to take the help of this write function. Means I can say, if write function is available and you know how to use this write function, I may not require a printf. Agreed or not? If you know how to do this write function and you don't know this API, you can able to display your data with this write function or not. So that's why what it does, you can see once I've just write before this, I've written a printf function which will display the ABC. But this printf function, if you today you can go through this in net, please write down in the Google the definition of the printf function. If you open the printf function, you can find such kind of things will be written. And these things is nothing but a system call. And this is what? This is provided by whom? This is provided by my operating system. This is common for every language. Even if you put 10 languages inside your computer, every language has their own API to print. But every API related to that language has to use the same system call. What my operating system provides. Now the question comes, sir, if write is a system call provided by my Unix operating system, do you think that the same write has to be provided by my another operating system? If I remove this Unix and install another kind of operating system, Windows, do you think that same write will be present? May not be. The may not be same write will be present, because as the operating system changes, the functionality related to the operating system changes. Now again the argument comes into picture. Sir, if this is changing, if the operating system is changing, do you think that my API has to be changed? Do you think that my programming language is going to be changed? No. Then how this interaction takes place? He's saying every printf, every particular printf or system call system.out.println, all APIs must have a call this write kind of function. But this write may be written in a different manner. And now the question comes, sir, whether this write will be same or a different. That is a next class, I'll tell you. But now you have little bit understood, because today's class is this much. Then where I stop, like a serial stops now. Now in your mind it is stopped that if I change this API, what is going to happen? Whether my OS is going to be changed or not. If I change this OS, whether my API is going to be changed or not. And another question I raise in your mind, if my OS gets changed, let's assume that the OS has a different functionality. This Windows OS is using WRITE. Another OS is using something called as, let's take a WRITT. There is another write function. WRITT is a function. But once this system call gets changed, can your hardware is going to be changed? This hardware is also not going to be changed. Why? I have a purchase a CPU with a 50,000 rupees. Do you think that for this 5,000 OS, I'll just change it to change my hardware and throw this 50,000? I'll never do like this. Then what is the relationship between this hardware's some function? As I told, the hardware has an add to add these things, or hardware must have a something print to print something. Then it has a functionality, and this has a functionality. These three things has to be interchanged with each other. And when interchanging is required, when the interchanging is not required, so that is the tomorrow's class. Then, but today's class, what you have studied, we have studied very simple thing today, that we discuss about what is an OS, the definition of the OS. Two things we have discussed. One is the interface between two things, that is user and hardware. Another thing we have studied, that reduce complexity. Another part, once you know that this definition is ready, then how the interaction takes place. So these are my users, and these users are interact with APIs or the system programs with the help of a programming interface. And this APIs and system calls, system programs are interact with my OS with the help of a system call. And this system call are basically the functions available here. And this OS is interact with the hardware. How? That also I have not discussed today, not at all. Okay. So these are the two parts we have discussed. What is a programming interface? It is designed by the programming language with the help of their APIs, and this APIs communicated with the OS with the help of the system calls. And this system call are basically the functions available in the OS. And with the help of this system call, this API get their benefit of this hardware. Okay. So this is the whole thing what today you have covered. Is it understood? Everybody got it?
Sir, so the programming
Yes, sir.
interface is basically the language C or C++.
Yes. The programming language is simply that.
Okay.
Nothing else. Yes, ask the doubts.
Why different OS has different write function?
Different, obviously. Let's assume that a OS has a design 20 years before. Do you think that a new OS, when you will make it, he has to use the same one or he try to change it? Can you give a restriction that no, आप अभी बना रहे हो, पहले से एक OS था, you have to make that functionality only in this OS? Do you believe?
Sir, with time technology changes now, so it will change obviously.
It has to be changed. It has to be changed because your demand changes. As your demand changes, he has to be changed it. Now you can now you just think it. Suppose this is a bike. Yes, in the bike I need a knot bolt. I wrote here knot bolt. The knot bolt has to be made by this OS with the help of the hardware. Do you think that all the company, those who are making this actual knot bolt with the help of the hardware, they will give the same name as you call a knot bolt, or they may little change?
Little change.
Little change. But now the question comes, if it is little change, then this API has already called a knot bolt. This API has also called a knot bolt. But here this OS is saying I am a knot bolt. And this another OS is saying it is not a knot bolt, it is a bolt knot. Then this is not mismatching. Means you can say the APIs which are calling a knot bolt, they can only fit into it. They cannot fit into it. Yes or no? Because he is saying it is a bolt knot and he is saying it is a knot bolt. Means if your API says API is printf. Inside the printf, I told it has to be called a system call. He knows that the system call for the knot bolt is NB. He called a NB. Then for this system call, this is a BN. If it is become a BN, is it necessary to make the same BN or it may be different? It may be different. Why it is different? Because the moment you called a knot bolt, this knot bolt is not directly equal to this knot bolt. Means you cannot directly enter into this company's factory and get it. You have given a name, just you call a name. That name will be come by one ID. Let's take the knot bolt's ID is 11. That 11, here it is called as a NB. But the same 11 which is coming here, it may be called as a BN. In this way, if it is, can this API will be managed with a different ways? What I told? The API is my printf. Please very nicely look into it. Very nice question. Then API has called a system call because I told inside your printf write is a system call. Suppose he has written a write is my system call. He called this write. The write is generate a number called as 11. And this 11 will be come to this OS. Where it is written, 11 means it is a WR. And this is coming to the same 11 comes, it may be, but inside the other OS, the 11 means it is a RW. Then what you understand? Even if my OS name, system call name gets changed, but is it affecting on my printf statement? Not at all. Why? Because the printf says that I am calling a write function, but the write function is not directly called here. The write function will be direct called through a number. Then there are two things comes into picture. One thing here it is, if a write function will be directly called here, then there is no security present in between these two. Means you are directly calling this OS. Means indirectly my OS is accessing the OS. Sorry, user is directly accessing the OS, which is not applicable. Then what you need? I put a restriction. What the restriction? The moment I say write, the write will be generate a number called as 11. But that 11 is what? That is only known to this OS. Nobody knows. Means this upper part does not know. The 11 means it is a WR or RW. He does not know. So this avoids the security breaching. One. And another one, very nicely somebody has asked the question, because of that I explained that in this scenario, even if my OS system call gets changed, the name gets changed, still my same pretemp function is able to work in this way as well as in this way. Okay. So
Sir,
it is over.
so
You
then
can
why
leave.
there are
Please ask.
So then why there are different installation or the programming language installed in different operating system?
Oh, that is a very simple thing. If when you are installing the programming language on the top of the operating system, then there is a one feature comes into picture, that the operating system provides a platform through which you have to run a program that may not be same for the other platform. Suppose he is saying you have to write first load then run. Somebody will say that no, you don't make a load and run, you directly run it. Like I told, some programming language may support a compiler, some programming language may support an interpreter. Since my programming language itself is changing, depending upon my operating system, the platforms are different, means the installation procedure has to be different. It has to, because the way he understands the things, the other operating system may not understand in the same way. Okay.
So means that the working is different in different operating systems, but
Working
that
principle.
system
Working
call
principle
is
has working principle has to be different. Working
okay,
principle has to be different. Like I told, if 5 persons are coming, one Pizza Hut manager will tell that you stand in a one queue and come to me, I'll take your order. Another Pizza Hut, when you go, another manager comes, he has changed its view. Same hardware, same Pizza Hut hotel, but a new manager comes, next day he made a different rule. What the rule? I'll make 3 queue, in one line children's, in another line women, in another line boys. He can make it or not. Then what the programming language has to do it? He has to be prepare this program which has to be given to the manager in a different manner. Yes or no? What will do there? He will, before he come to this shop now, he will first write in his head that I am a man. When a child will come, he will write on the top of this head, I am a children. He has to write or not? Yes or no? So that's why your programming language is going to be changed when your manager is going to be changed.
So,
okay.
so this programming interface refers to the language in which we are writing, or the environment in which we are writing the language?
Two things are involved. Two things are involved. Yes, because depending upon my environment also, few language has designed. Yes or no? Depending upon my environment or the operating system, few languages have designed. And based on that language, whatever the APIs that language provided, I'll design this interface. Like in C, in a normal C language. Can you prepare this kind of screen the way I have prepared? No. He will first ask A, then only B will be displayed. Correct or not?
Yes, sir.
But if you use some Java or VB or some other high-level language, they will provide you a graphical things. This will be little colorful. This will be little colorful. You can first type here, then you can type here. Everything is possible or not? So that is because of whom? Because of API, not because of OS. OS does not know this kind of things. OS just know that you give me a simple work. Addition करना है, बोल दीजिए. एक येलो कलर यहां दिखाना है, येलो मैं दिखा दूंगा. आप येलो 5 बार दिखाओगे, or whether you have to display yellow 3 times, that decided by my programming language. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So next class will be more details. I hope you little understood this. What is the OS is? Yes or no? Or
Yes.
any?
Yes, sir.
Fine.
Yes, sir.
This is I told this class is abstract. No way nobody will ask this question from here. Only one question will be usually come. What is a system call? Now you know what is the system call. The system call is a functionality provided by the operating system through which one API can interact with the OS. Yes, sir? Because without the help of this system call, a API cannot access this OS. The OS says, I am giving you right, and you can now call me as a right. Even if you have told printf, but if you call me printf, I don't understand what is printf. You call me right, then I'll do it. Yes, and as I have given an example, as somebody has pointed out, it may be changed, but why I have pointed out this 11, next class we'll see. here one very interesting feature, that is security feature involved here with respect to this user mode and kernel. Because I told there are two kinds of software here. One software is outside accessible. Another software is very restricted one. He is inside this particular system. And this particular software cannot be directly accessed. Do you think that you can access all functionality of the operating system directly through your program? Never. He will not allow you. Yes, even if both are written in C. You have written your program in C. The OS itself is written in C. But this program is not accessible to you, whereas this API is accessible to you. Means there is some barrier as created in between these two things. At that next. Okay.
Sir, sir, can you please repeat the definition of system call again?
The system call is a function provided by the operating system to act as an interface. The system call is a function provided by the operating system to act as an interface between the APIs and OS.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Fine. That's all. Then today I am stopping now. Tomorrow's what time?
So please send the class recording.
Class recording I always send. You can get in the Moodle. Everything you can get in the Moodle. Huh?
Okay, sir.
Fine.
Sir, tomorrow from 12 you have class.
Okay, sir.
Okay, class. Fine. No problem. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.